Hello, G is for geography. So today I'm going to teach you some geography in a light-hearted manner. While suffering from toothache and not being able to sleep or watch TV or play computer games, I needed something to take my mind off the pain and somehow came up with the idea of doing an online geography quiz. I thought I knew Europe pretty well, although I found out afterwards that I knew Eastern Europe pretty badly, so I chose Africa. Point to any country now on an unlabelled map of Africa. I can now tell you what country it is. So, here goes. Down at the bottom we have South Africa. Known for having enclaves, it has two small countries fully contained within. To the left, Lesotho, note not Lesbos, that's elsewhere, and Swaziland. The latter may sound odd and a bit like a cross between a swastika and a Nazi, and I'm sure this has nothing to do with the hated apartheid. Above that in the middle there's Botswana. This is where Top Gear did a tour in the last days of Clarkson and not where bots come from. To the right is Zimbabwe, formerly Rhodesia. Rhodesia is shaped a bit like the island of Rhodes, except that it appears to have fallen over, like its economy under Mugabe. To the right of that on the east coast is Mozambique. The country's population of around 24 million is composed overwhelmingly of Bantu people, and they walk in single file to hide their numbers. Maybe. Above that in the middle is the tall, thin country of Malawi, formerly known as Nyasaland or Nissaland, and it's not where Nyssa from Doctor Who comes from, that's Traken, which is somewhere else. To the left of that is Zambia, named after the Zambezi River, singing Zambezi, 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 Zamamambawe, and that was by the Piranhas. On the west coast, above South Africa, there's Namibia, where the Grand Tour, the ex-Top Gear lot, took their beach buggies recently. And above that on the coast is Angola, not to be confused with East Anglia, and not named by us either. It was a Portuguese version of a local name. Are you with me so far? Above Angola and Zambia, Zambezi, Zambezi, that one, is the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Big long name, and not to be confused with the Republic of the Congo, which is to the left of it. Easy to remember which is bigger, it's the one with the longer name. To the right of that are the tiny countries of Burundi, which is not a new offering from Pret a Manger, and Rwanda. Rwanda's a mess, war, genocide, poverty, all in an itty-bitty living space. To the left of the Republic of Congo, the smaller one, is Gabon. Originally peopled by pygmies, it has a short name. Say it with a French accent, for we are now into, as with all the Congos, the French-speaking rather than Portuguese-speaking Africa. Tucked away in Gabon's northwest corner is the tiny country of Equatorial Guinea Pig. I may have added that last word. To the right of landlocked Rwanda and Burundi, on the east coast, is Tanzania. Over 100 different languages are spoken there, so it may differ there too. Above that on the east coast and on the equator is Kenya, one of the locations of fossils of the earliest proto-human ancestors ever found. To the west of Kenya and above Rwanda is Uganda. In Uganda, the government there is working to eradicate foot and mouth disease, whereas in the USA, Donald Trump seems to be nothing to eradicate his foot-in-mouth disease. To Kenya's northeast, on the coast and the Horn of Africa reaching up to the Gulf of Aden, is Somalia. Major shipping routes pass nearby to here and from Yemen, Oman and the Middle East, hence Somalian pirates, who don't talk with a West Country accent. Above Kenya is the now landlocked country of Ethiopia, which lost its coastline to the recently created Eritrea. Tucked on the coast between Somalia and Eritrea is the tiny country of Djibouti, not your booty. To the left of Ethiopia is the newest country in the world, South Sudan, another mess. To the left of that is the country that really is in the middle of Africa and is called, drumroll please, the Central African Republic, a famous answer to questions on Pointless. To the left of that on the west coast above Equatorial Guinea Pig is Cameroon, David Cameroon with the pig below. Above that on the west coast is Nigeria. It overtook South Africa to become Africa's largest economy in 2014, and it's full of princes who want to give you money in the internet. Working away along the west coast, we have stacks of little countries. Most of these have been ravaged by civil wars and the Ebola virus. They start with Benin, early in the alphabet, so easy to remember. Then Togo, not to be confused with Trinidad and Tobago. And then Ghana. Ghana means warrior king in a local language, but although the Portuguese first established trade here, they have maintained their many local languages, but use English officially. Go figure. Next, left on the coast is Côte d'Ivoire, or Ivory Coast as we know it. Guess which language they speak. And then there's Liberia. Liberia is the only African republic to have self-proclaimed independence without gaining independence through revolt from any other nation. Next is Sierra Leone, back to English, though named by the Portuguese. Although a predominantly Muslim country, it has a lot of Christians and is one of the most religiously tolerant nations in the world. Above Cote d'Ivoire and the previous 3 countries is Burkina Faso, home of the Burkinian where Burks come from. No idea, made those up. Next on the coast is Guinea. This is bigger than Equatorial Guinea Pig and another formerly French country. Next is Guinea-Bissau, which is Portuguese or Creole speaking, named Guinea-Bissau as Bissau is its capital and to help differentiate it from the other Guineas. So why not just call it a pound instead of a guinea? Anyway, next up the coast is Senegal, back to French. This completely surrounds, except for the coast, the Gambia, which itself surrounds the Gambie River and is the smallest country in mainland Africa. The Gambia is the country where the new president once worked as an Argos security guard to finance his studies. Above Senegal is the large country of Mauritania. Don't confuse with Mauritius, which is an island in the Indian Ocean. 90% of Mauritania is the Sahara Desert, so people choose to live in the south where precipitation is higher. That's like English people moving to Wales for the rain. To its northwest on the coast is Western Sahara, which has disputed ownership but is mostly desert anyway. Heading inland from Mauritania, there are large countries, and the first we come to is Mali. And Mali. Mali and Mali. Ooh, Muppets Christmas Carol reference there. And then Niger, easily remembered as it's above Nigeria. To the right of that is Chad. Now, when I was young, I had a Chad Valley teddy bear. Not from Chad, though. To the right of Chad and above South Sudan is, yep, you guessed it, Sudan. Now 30% smaller since it lost its bottom. Heading right to left along the north coast, there's Morocco, or Maroc as it's French. They really did have a large empire. Next is Algeria, whose capital is Algiers, another formerly French country and the largest country in Africa. Next on the coast is the small country of Tunisia, where the beach shooting took place in 2015, destroying its tourism overnight. And next is Libya, another large country and former home to Gaddafi. And finally we come to the last mainland country in Africa, Egypt, home of the pyramid-selling scheme Mummy's Net and Death on the Nile. There's a few islands, including the huge Madagascar, but that's basically Africa. Now, the Animaniacs did a song about the countries of the world, which, while a little dated and taking a few liberties with names, goes as follows. United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republican, Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador too, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Venezuela, Honduras, Guyana and still, Guatemala, Bolivia, then Argentina and Ecuador, Chile, Brazil, Costa Rica, Belize, Nicaragua, Bermuda, Bahamas, Tobago, San Juan, Paraguay, Uruguay, Suriname and French Guiana, Barbados and Guam. Norway and Sweden and Iceland and Finland and Germany now in one piece, Switzerland, Austria, Czechoslovakia, Italy, Turkey and Greece, Poland, Romania, Scotland, Albania, Ireland, Russia, Oman, Bulgaria, Saudi Arabia, Hungary, Cyprus, Iraq and Iran, there's Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Jordan, both Yemen's, Kuwait and Bahrain, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, Belgium and Portugal, France, England, Denmark and Spain, India, Pakistan, Burma, Afghanistan, Thailand, Nepal and Bhutan, Cambodia, Malaysia, then Bangladesh, Asia and China, Korea, Japan, Mongolia, Laos and Tibet, Indonesia, the Philippine Islands, Taiwan, Sri Lanka, New Guinea, Sumatra, New Zealand, then Borneo and Vietnam. Now we get on to the African ones. Tunisia, Morocco, Uganda, Angola, Zimbabwe, Djibouti, Botswana, Mozambique, Zambia, Swaziland, Gambia, Guinea, Algeria, Ghana, Burundi, Lesotho and Mali and Togo, the Spanish Sahara is gone, Niger, Nigeria, Chad and Liberia, Egypt, Benin and Gabon, Tanzania, Somalia, Kenya and Mali, Sierra Leone and Algiers, Dahomey, Namibia, Senegal, Libya, Cameroon, Congo, Zaire, Ethiopia, Guinea-Bissau, Madagascar, Rwanda, Mahore and Cayman, Hong Kong, Abu Dhabi, Qatar, Yugoslavia, Crete, Mauritania, then Transylvania, Monaco, Liechtenstein, Malta and Palestine, Fiji, Australia, Sudan. Thank you. That's all for this week. Goodbye.